Today I am going to demonstrate and show you how to use a Pounce pad with chalk and stencil to be able to make beautiful free motion quilting designs on your quilts. So if that's something you're interested in, please continue watching this video. Hello, welcome or welcome back. My name is Miriam and I talk about all kinds of quilting things here on YouTube. So if you saw my last video, I showed you some really cool practice sheets that can help you make free motion quilting on your own quilts, right? So you just print them out, pin them to your fabric, and do your practice free motion quilting. So today I want to show you another way to be able to do free motion quilting at home with your domestic sewing machine. I'm really excited about this technique. I haven't actually tried it before yesterday. Yesterday I did practice a little bit just to make sure that it actually worked. So I would have a video to make today, but it does work. It's really neat and I'm so excited to show you guys. Before we jump into that, if you want announcements about my sewing shed or patterns that are coming out, stick around till the end of the video and I will give you any updates that I have on those things, okay? What is a Pounce pad? A Pounce pad is this little box. Cool, huh? It's a little plastic box. This one is the Quick Swipe from Miracle Chalk. I have two different Pounce pads. So this is the one that I practiced with. I'm also going to show you another one that I have, but they're built exactly the same way. I have a little hair tie here holding it together, but this is a little box. And on top it has a little plug that you can remove. And that's where the chalk goes. So you sprinkle the chalk in, shake it a little bit, sprinkle a little more chalk in, and then you put the plug back on to make sure that you don't get a big chalky mess. And you want to make sure that that's nice and secure. It's a nice big belly button for the tub, right? So then you open this up, and this is the pad that the chalk actually comes out of. And this is just going to catch any loose chalk that comes off of the pad and helps protect the pad and keep it clean when you're not using it. When you initially put the chalk in the hole, which I'm going to demonstrate with the other one, but you put the chalk in and then you want to tap, 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 tap the pad several times to get the chalk actually to go down into the pad, and then it's ready to use. So that is what a Pounce pad is. If you buy these are sold at Missouri Star Quilt Company. If you use my link, you can get 20% off any $50 or more purchase. It does exclude some things, but most things like the Pounce pad are going to be able to get that 20% off if your total is over $50. So that link is always down in the description box of all my videos if you want to use that. That's the Pounce pad. And then in conjunction with the Pounce pad, you also use quilting stencils. Now, I'm sure if you've gone to a quilt shop, you have seen quilting stencils before. So probably the most common ones are like these plastic, kind of flimsy plastic ones, right? This works with a Pounce pad. I was a little skeptical if it would work, but it did. I did a practice piece. Here, I'll show you real quick. With these flowers, with the Pounce pad, and I did some practice, and it works. How pretty, right? That's pretty cute. You can kind of see it on the back. You can really see it on that dark purple. These type of stencils work with a Pounce pad, and these come in all kinds of shapes and sizes and designs. There's so much. There's different meander designs. There's random motifs like this beautiful flower. There's just so many options. Now there's another type of stencil that is made specifically to be used with Pounce pads, and that is this. It's kind of like a plasticky, fabricy feeling, very flimsy again, and where the white is where the chalk goes through. This is a kind of a daisy meander stencil, and it's so beautiful. And I also practiced that just a little bit to make sure that it would work. It is so stinking cute. So there's the practice of that one. And oh my goodness, it's so cute. Something to be aware of when you are using Pounce pads. You need to read the instructions for that specific chalk that you're using before you do anything. Okay, so what I mean by that is the white chalk that I have in here. Once I'm done quilting, I can press the quilt with a hot steam iron and the chalk will just disappear. It'll vanish. It'll be gone. It's all done. You can also wash it out. However, the blue chalk that I'm going to be using in my other Pounce pad, here, I'll show you. It's blue, very pigmented. You cannot use an iron on this chalk or it'll actually set it into the fabric, which isn't exactly what I want, right? Definitely make sure you read the instructions. You know the instructions for the chalk that you are using, okay? So I think usually blue, you cannot use a iron with blue chalk. I think that's a general rule because of the pigmentation that's in there. So this just washes out with cold water. So I always wash my quilts after I'm done in cold water anyways, for when I'm washing out the glue, because I glue based. So yeah, that will be no problem and that will wash out just fine. Now that we got that out of the way, that little disclaimer out of the way, let's get to pouncing, huh? So I'm going to be putting the chalk on my gingham square dance quilt. You guys saw me finish this a couple videos ago and it is so stinking cute. That blue chalk is going to show up really well on here. And I am going to be doing this adorable daisy meander design on it, which I am so excited to see this. It's going to be so cute. Let's go over to the other side of my table where I can kind of lay the quilt out and we'll get this going. Okay, here we are at the other side of my table. So I have my blue chalk and my Pounce pad. So I am actually going to move this because I don't want to get just loose chalk all over my quilt. And we're going to go ahead and set the Pounce pad up. Ooh, it's snug in that bag. So see, this one looks just like the other one. 2 parts with the big belly button. So we're going to remove that plug. And the inside kind of looks like a little mesh net type thing in there. So this is the Quilt Pounce by Hancy Creations from FullLineStencil.com. But I got this from Missouri Star Quilt Company. And I think they also make pink chalk and white chalk for this one. So we are going to put some chalk in here, and they recommend to put like 50% of the chalk in there and then close it up and then hit it several times. I think they said like 50 times. Give it a good whack and then open it back up, put some more chalk in, and then 50 more times do that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to do that inside this box. So I'm not making a big chalky mess in here. So I've kind of got some of this packaging paper laid out in the bottom of my box. And so I'll just open this, open the bag, and sprinkle some chalk in there. Okay. I'm just going to give it a little tap and then close that up. Oh goodness, I don't want to make a mess. Set that aside. All right, and then I'm just going to come inside my box here and just kind of tap it. I see a little dust cloud coming up. See? A little chalk is coming out. Okay. I think that's probably good. Now let's get a little bit more and just repeat that process. Pretty good. So I've got lots of blue chalk now on the pad. I think it's ready. I guess time will tell. Wow, it is a little messy. That's okay. We knew that would happen. It washes out. All right. So now let's do a practice piece with this just to make sure it works just the same as the other one. So I've got my little practice sandwich here, and let's just try pouncing on this. So I'm just going to lay this out just like that on my practice. Okay. So when you are going to apply the chalk, it's really important to make sure that the stencil stays in place. So I'm assuming you can pin through this. Where's the package for that? Let's see, do they say? Okay, I'm not saying anything about putting pins through it. So you could use like little weights, maybe, because I don't want to ruin it with putting a pin in it. Here. Let's see. If I put a little pin and then take it out, there are little holes. So I don't know if I would necessarily do that. But if you have little weights, little pattern weights or something, then you could just place one in opposite corners and that would hold it in place. So now I'm just gonna grab my little Pounce pad, and all you do is you swipe it over the stencil. You do not like smack it onto the stencil. So you just kind of do like a light swipe and make sure that the stencil stays in place. I know it doesn't look like it should work, but it does. So you just do that and then peel back the stencil. Let me zoom you in so you can see, but check that out. We've got a design. So now I can just trace that with my stitching, right? And it'll look just like that. Looks like that works, which is fantastic. So I'm ready to move on to our actual project here. So I'm gonna set this aside. Can you tell I'm excited to try it? So the cool thing about this also is this is a continual design. So I'm gonna mark one section. So this is gonna be one section. And then when I want to move the design over, I just line up the ends of the stitching together and it'll just be a continual design all the way across. I hope that makes sense. So I am going to start it about like that. Probably just have this coming in. Let's start like that. Okay. And then I am just going to swipe it across. Can't see it. Ooh, there it went on. Okay. There you can see it really good. Oops, zoom her in. So see, you can see the chalk really good. I hope this is not super messy. So yesterday when I practiced, I had white chalk on that dark purple fabric. So it really didn't take much chalk to have the design show up. So, but this, with the blue, I really needed to get quite a bit of chalk on the actual pad. So, I mean, the pad is covered and we used a lot of chalk here. Let's move on to the next section and kind of see how it goes, okay? So I'm going to take my design and line it up where the design ends. here. Make sure it's straight on the quilt. Okay, and then what I did was I just took the Pounce pad thing and I kind of whacked it a little bit with the cover on my table to move down some more chalk. And now I am just going to swipe again.
This is a good a day as any to start the...
All right, it's working. It looks pretty cute. Now, hopefully this doesn't just wipe right off. So there's 2 sections we've got done so far. I kind of want to take it over to the sewing machine and see how it does and make sure this isn't, I mean, there's some like just loose chalk just sitting here. So I'm kind of curious to see how this is going to quilt. Your hands definitely get a little chalky, but it's not bad. So let's set this aside and I'm going to take the quilt over to the sewing machine. All right, we're back at the sewing machine. I have this really pretty variegated thread from Wonderful that I've had for quite a long time and I've just never used it. But it has like oranges and pinks and stuff. And I thought it would go perfectly with this quilt. So I'm gonna try it and see if I like it or not. We will see. This is a 50 weight, so I don't think I've ever quilted with something so thin. So we'll see how it goes. But anywho, I also wanted to mention that the Pounce pads can be used for machine or hand quilting, which is nice. So if you like to dabble in both, you can use it for both kinds of quilting, which I think is really nice. And let me just get this threaded here. I've already got my machine set up for free motion quilting, so I am good to go with that. All right, I'm gonna pull this through. There's a little bit of loose chalk, but it's not terrible. So, okay, one thing I am a little concerned about is the chalk coming off on my hands and me just making a big smudgy mess. So hopefully that doesn't happen. I might have to put on some quilting gloves if I think that that's going to be an issue. So they're not my favorite thing to wear because I'm just not a big fan of wearing them. Let's try this out. Let me point this down here so you can see. All right, and I'm gonna start over here where the design started.
Living a life. The roads that lay open are many. When the old one's gone under the knife, and I can feel the sun on my skin.
It's really nice with quilting with these stencils. You're literally just tracing. So it's just tracing the line that's been marked on the quilt top, which is really nice. Very beginner friendly. And you can go as fast or as slow as you want. So this is turning out really cute with the variegated thread too. I really like it. Very cool so far. Very optimistic about this.
Beginning to thaw from within.
Okay, something I am noticing, okay? I am getting quite a bit of chalk on my hands. You can actually see the design on my hand. I will try it with gloves to see if they just become blue from the chalk. And I'm also noticing the shaking from my machine is actually loosening some of the chalk and I'm losing some of the design. So when I got closer to this flower that I'm about to make, the chalk actually shook up and it's not completely in place. So I'm gonna finish quilting these 2 sections and then I'll kind of let you know my thoughts. And then I'm gonna try something that I think someone recommended when I initially said I was gonna try on a Pounce pad. Someone recommended a little trick. So I am going to try that when I get these 2 sections done. So I will be back shortly. Okay, I got those 2 sections done and oh my goodness, they are so cute. So check that out. Oh, hold on a second. Ah! We are hooked on the table. Okay, check that out. How cute is that? I really like this. It's so adorable. And super easy. I'm literally just tracing, you guys. It's just tracing. So what I found out was that first chunk that I did, there was just a little too much excess chalk. So like I said before, when my machine was going, it was kind of shaking the chalk out of place, which was a little annoying. But when I got to the second section where I didn't have as much loose chalk, it didn't do that. That is a good thing. But I am going to also try a trick that someone recommended when I had talked about using a Pounce pad. So what they recommended was to take a spray bottle and gently spray the fabric before you put the chalk on. And I guess the theory is the chalk will stick to the water. So let's see if that works, shall we? So I just have just a regular spray bottle that does like the misty type spray. So I am going to do that here real quick. I'm just going to do a light, really light. I don't want my quilt to be wet, right? So just a really light mist. Hopefully this doesn't end in disaster. And then I'm going to place my thing on here, a little stencil. Let's turn that a little bit so you can see a little better. And I'm going to get my Pounce pad thingy. I'm just going to gently tap it, get a little chalk down. Knock off any of the excess, right? All right, and now let's see what happens. Okay, and then we'll peel it back. Ooh, it's really light. I can barely see it. Hold on. The nice thing about the chalk is if you can't see it or if it's messed up, you can kind of brush it away and it brushes away. So I'm going to try a second time here. Gonna lay it down. See, I'm wondering if the water is diluting the chalk and just making it like not stay, you know? Make sure my stitches aren't going to be touching. All right. Let's do a little bit of that. All right. And let's try this again. Just kind of brush it on, right? Okay. There, that's a little bit better. I don't know if you can really see it. Here, let me. But I can see it. Yeah, you can kind of see it in the pink areas. So that marked it, but I don't know if that helped any. Like if it's any better than just doing it with the fabric dry. So let's move this down and do another section. I think I'll try to get this just a little more wet. A gentle mist, but just kind of, yeah, that's pretty damp, I think. It's all experimentation, right? I'm just gonna wipe. It worked in like some areas, but some areas that are probably a little too wet, it didn't really transfer. So I don't know if I would really do the wet method. It seems a little temperamental. So let's try to do this half again. Yeah, there, that worked a little bit better. The cool part about this type of stencil is the markings that you're making with it are more of a guideline. You know, it doesn't have to be exact. You do not have to follow the lines exactly. There were some loops that I missed when I was going through. Or, you know, I went and I made the flower. The flowers don't look perfect. I'm just going to be 100% honest. I didn't follow every single petal perfectly. But overall, it looks so cute. It looks so nice. So I really think this is a really great beginner way to do meander quilting. And they make so many different stencils that are like this. So what did you think? Are you going to try a Pounce pad? I would love to know if you're going to try one and how it goes. It's very fun. Or have you tried one before? Did you like it? Did you have issues? Do you have any tips and tricks to share on how to use it a little bit more effectively? It did work. I think just that first section that I did, I used a little too much chalk and it was a little messy. But that second section worked perfect. And the water technique, I don't think I will use it. I didn't find that very helpful. Probably won't do that. But if you have any other tips or tricks on how to use a Pounce pad, if you've used one before with success, I'd love to hear it. And just thank you for watching this demo slash kind of tutorial slash let's see what we can do with this thing, right? So to give you a few updates, so my sewing studio, I have no updates. I have none. I've had several people email me and ask if I have any updates or anything, but I do not. I've had so many other things that I need to work on. We were waiting for some electrical stuff to come in because we got some of the electrical stuff put in, but we were waiting for some wiring stuff that we're going to use for the lighting. So that came in. So now we just got to work around mine and my dad's schedule to get out there and get more done. That's we're working on it. We're working on it. But hopefully this coming week we'll be able to get some work done on it, and I'm very excited about that. So stay tuned. I'm not the studio is gonna get done. It's just taking some time, right? Also, I am currently working on finishing up the patchwork alphabet quilt pattern. So I actually have it written and done. Where did I put that? I printed one out to look at it. I also printed out a booklet size to see what that looked like. And I still have some tweaking to do to be able to print it out booklet style, which I will work on. So I have the actual pattern done. It's a huge pattern. Each letter has its own page. So in total, we've got 32 pages, I do believe. I am super proud of this though. It's so cool. I cannot wait to see what everyone is going to make with this pattern. So with that being said, up until like yesterday, so today is August 9th, so August 8th, I was planning on just releasing the pattern and not making anything to kind of show the letters. But then I started thinking, like, why would I not do that? Like, that's kind of like, you should probably do that. So I am going to make a quilt with the alphabet. I'm going to make the full alphabet quilt. So included in the pattern is individual instructions for each letter. Each page has its own, or each letter has its own page. And then in the back, I have instructions and piece requirements to make the entire alphabet pattern. So it'll look like that. It's really cute, and it's going to be, oh, I'm so excited to see it done. So I am going to be making that. So I ordered some fabric for it. I had some fat quarters that I'm going to use for like the letters, but for like all the background fabric, I needed to order some fabric. So I ordered that last night. So hopefully be getting that sometime next week. And I will be making that quilt in the coming weeks then. I'm trying to decide if I want to go ahead and release the pattern now before I make the quilt, or if I should wait, make the quilt, and then release the pattern. So if anybody has any opinions on that, that would be great. Because I just want to make sure, I just want to doubly, triply make sure all of my math is correct. From just looking at it and reading over it multiple times, I do believe I did the math correctly, but I want to actually make the quilt to make sure that it's correct. Just want to do it right, right? So if anyone has any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I love talking to you guys in the comments. and I try to reply to every comment. I've also been doing a lot of thinking about how many videos I'm going to be putting out, and just realistically right now, I think I'm going to drop down to 1 video a week. It was fun trying to squeeze out 2 videos a week, but just with everything that I have going on, and I'm going to be getting back to working on the studio and stuff, it's just not realistic to try to put out 2 videos, and I kind of want it to be quality over quantity with the videos. You know, I want them to be good quality videos that people are actually going to watch, not just, oh, I got to put on a video today, let me quick record something. That's what I'm going to try to do. Also, I want to start doing lives. I will start scheduling those in. It's just I got to figure out when I should do that and how often. I know a lot of people said like once a week would be good. I still have some more thinking to do on that, because I don't want to commit to doing something and then not be able to do it. So I'm just trying to figure out scheduling, and I have several quilt projects that I have to do because I'm working with some companies and I'm having to like make quite a few things. So some of my lives might just be me working on that stuff, which I think could be fun. If you guys would be interested in that, let me know, because I'm going to have a lot of sewing to do, and I'm excited about it, because a lot of times when I kind of get caught up in the content creation, I actually don't have time to actually sew. So that's going to be really fun. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful weekend. All right. I'll talk to you very soon. Bye-bye. So as you can see, this is I almost fell. And we're done. Right before the battery died. Oh goodness. I have so much to do.